Listen closely, for the world whispers its greatest secrets not in thunder, but in the quiet courage of ordinary hearts. It tells its tales not on pages of paper, but in the threads of lives lived with kindness, with courage, and with a wisdom that blossoms in the most unexpected of gardens. We are about to open this living book together, to read a few of its most inspiring chapters, each one a testament to the unyielding power of the human spirit. These are not just stories of magic and monsters, but mirrors reflecting the hero that resides within each of us, waiting for the right moment to emerge. Our journey begins in a small salt-sprayed fishing village, with a hunter named Finian. He was a man of simple means but sharp wit, a quality often more valuable than a purse full of gold. One market day, a slick merchant named Silas, known for his silver tongue and hollow promises, sold Finian a basket of fish. He praised their freshness, their silver scales gleaming in the sun. But when Finian returned to his cottage, a foul smell revealed the truth. The fish were rotten beneath a carefully placed top layer. A lesser man might have raged or despaired, but Finian simply smiled. He returned to the market, not with anger, but with a plan. He approached Silas and declared, "My friend, you have sold me magical fish. I placed them in the river, and they swam away so fast, they must be the swiftest in the sea." Intrigued by the idea of such remarkable fish, the greedy Silas offered Finian a trade. "Give me back these magical fish," he urged, "and I shall give you a basket of my finest sea bream in exchange." With a solemn nod, Finian agreed. He handed over the basket of spoiled fish and walked home with a bounty of fresh sea bream, leaving Silas to discover the pungent reality of his magical bargain. That night, Finian's family ate like kings, their laughter a testament to the truth that cleverness, when wielded with calm resolve, can turn a swindler's trick into a triumphant feast. From the coast, we travel inland, to the rolling green hills where a young cowherd named Ronan lived a peaceful life. His strength was not just in his arms, but in his unwavering sense of justice. This peace was shattered when a hulking giant, Grolnok, descended from the mountains and stole his entire herd. The villagers trembled, but Ronan refused to yield to fear. Armed with nothing but his wits and a sturdy staff, he tracked the giant to his stony lair. He didn't challenge the beast to a test of pure strength. Instead, he used his knowledge of the land, creating a rockslide that trapped the giant and allowed him to reclaim his cattle. But his quest was not over. In the giant's cave, he found Princess Alara, a captive intended to be the giant's prize. Upon returning to the kingdom, they found a preening knight, Sir Kale, already claiming to have slain the giant and rescued the princess. While the court celebrated the impostor, Ronan presented the giant's unique iron club and described a birthmark on the princess's arm that only her true rescuer could have seen. The lie unraveled, and Sir Kale was exposed as a coward. Ronan, the humble cowherd, was hailed as the true hero. He had not sought glory, only justice, and in doing so, he won the heart of the princess and the respect of the entire kingdom, proving that true courage is not about the station you are born into, but the character you choose to build. Now, let us turn to a quieter, more shadowed corner of the world, to the studio of a sculptor named Alistair. Alistair was blind, his world a landscape of touch and sound. Yet, with his hands, he could see more profoundly than any sighted person. He could feel the soul within the stone and bring it to life. He was deeply in love with a woman named Livia, for whom he carved his masterpiece, a statue so lifelike it seemed to breathe. He poured all of his devotion, his tenderness, and his idealized vision of her into the marble. But Livia did not share his pure heart. She exploited his blindness and his love, using his talent for her own gain. One fateful day, a fire broke out in the studio, trapping a sleeping Livia. As the flames closed in, a miracle occurred. The statue, animated by the sheer force of Alistair's love, moved. It stepped from its pedestal, its marble form cracking under the intense heat, and pushed Livia to safety just as the roof collapsed, crushing the beautiful form to dust. When Livia awoke, she saw the pile of shattered marble that had saved her. In that moment of selfless sacrifice, she finally understood the depth of Alistair's love. A love so powerful, it could give life to stone. A love she had taken for granted. The statue was gone, but its spirit had revealed a truth more enduring than marble. That true love is not about what you can get, but what you are willing to give. In a grand kingdom not far from there lived 3 princes. The 2 eldest were celebrated for their cunning and ambition. The youngest, Prince Leo, was gentle and kind, often dismissed by his brothers as a simple-minded fool, because he would stop to help a fallen bird or share his lunch with a beggar. One day, the aging king set his sons a task. Whoever could bring him the most magnificent flying carpet and the most virtuous wife would inherit the throne. The elder brothers rode off in a cloud of dust, seeking merchants and noblewomen. Leo, walking through the woods, found a small frog with its leg caught in a thorny vine. He carefully freed the creature, expecting nothing in return. But this was no ordinary frog. It spoke, thanking him for his kindness, and offered its help. The frog led him to a hidden grotto where a magnificent flying carpet, woven from moonlight and dreams, lay waiting. It then guided him to a humble cottage, where he met a woman named Anya. She was not a princess, but her wisdom, compassion, and grace outshone any jewel. When the princes presented their findings, the elder brothers displayed expensive but ordinary carpets and introduced haughty, status-seeking fiancés. But when Leo unrolled his carpet, it floated into the air, shimmering with an ethereal light. And when Anya spoke, her words were so full of prudence and kindness that the entire court was captivated. The king saw at once that Leo's foolishness was in fact the deepest wisdom of all, the wisdom of a compassionate heart. He had proven that true royalty lies not in a crown, but in character. Our next story is of Caleb, a young man from a small village whose greatest wealth was his boundless empathy. One evening, he came across a fairy whose wing was torn and tangled in a spider's web. With infinite patience, Caleb spent an hour gently untangling the delicate wing, using a blade of grass to sever the sticky threads. In gratitude, the fairy blessed him, saying, "Your hands, which have shown such gentle care, will now possess the power to mend and heal." From that day on, Caleb could soothe any pain, mend any wound, and even coax wilting plants back to vibrant life with a single touch. He never sought fame or fortune, using his gift to help his neighbors and the animals of the forest. Word of his ability eventually reached the castle, where the prince lay gravely ill from a mysterious ailment that baffled all the royal physicians. Caleb was summoned. He simply held the prince's hand, pouring his innate kindness through his magical touch, and the prince was healed. As a reward, the king offered him anything he desired. Caleb asked not for gold, but for the king's help in irrigating the fields of his drought-stricken village. His selflessness won him even greater admiration, including that of his childhood sweetheart, Rose, who had always loved him for his good heart. He had been given a magical gift, but his true happiness came from using it to save others, proving that the greatest power is compassion in action. Finally, we hear the rhythmic beat of a drum, the heartbeat of our last tale. This is the story of Jasper, a young drummer in the king's army, whose courage was as steady and relentless as the beat of his drum. He was in love with Princess Lyra, a vibrant and joyful soul who was cursed by a jealous witch. The curse stripped her of her substance, turning her into a living shadow, unable to touch, speak, or feel the warmth of the sun. Desperate, the king promised her hand to anyone who could break the spell. Knights and wizards tried and failed. But Jasper noticed something they didn't. The Shadow Princess would faintly sway to the rhythm of his drum. He realized the curse was tied to a loss of her own heartbeat, her own rhythm of life. With his drum on his back, he journeyed to the witch's twisted fortress in the Glass Mountains. He overcame challenges not with a sword, but with rhythm, calming a monstrous beast with a soothing lullaby, shattering an enchanted barrier with a thunderous crescendo. At last, he faced the witch, who declared that the curse could only be broken by a true love's kiss, a cruel joke, for how can one kiss a shadow? But as Jasper leaned in, he did not try to kiss her lips of smoke. Instead, he pressed his lips to the cold stone floor where her shadow lay, and with all the love in his heart, he began to drum a powerful, life-affirming rhythm upon the ground. The vibrations of love and life flowed into her shadowy form, breaking the curse. Princess Lyra materialized whole and vibrant once more. His unique bravery, born of love and perseverance, had succeeded where all others had failed. And so, the pages of this book turn. We have walked with the witty hunter, the brave cowherd, the loving sculptor, the kind prince, the compassionate healer, and the persistent drummer. Each of their stories is a different melody in the grand symphony of life, yet they all sing the same chorus, that within us lies the wit to outsmart deception, the courage to face giants, the love that can perform miracles, the kindness that is true wisdom, the compassion that heals the world, and the perseverance that can bring light into the deepest shadows. These are not just fairy tales. They are possibilities. They are a reminder that your life is the parchment, your actions are the ink. The greatest story is the one you are writing right now. So, take a deep breath. Be kind. Be brave. Be wise. And write a magnificent chapter. Thanks for listening. And if you enjoyed these stories, please subscribe for more.